So I'm reading the newest edition of D&D, which is I'm just going to refer to as 5.5e. But there's something that they started doing that I don't entirely agree with, and that is like outlining rules for very specific things, namely like equipment, which on the one hand is kind of good because there are more explicit uses and things written out for something like mason's tools or block and tackle or whatever, like whatever piece of random equipment you could find. There's now a written use case that they have thought about and implemented, which is good. But me personally, with my philosophy and of gaming, really, I don't like having rules for everything like this. And I don't like it because having an explicit rule is one, something that you have to look up, and two, it kind of kills the ability to be creative with it. Like most players, especially newer players, are going to favor looking up a rule because they want to play the game right. They'll look up a rule, which takes time and is frustrating, and rather than like come up with a creative way of using a thing, they'll do only what it says they can do because why else would they have it? Like there's nothing else you can do with it, right? But no, I've as I've grown as a role player and as I've grown with all of the systems that I've seen, I tend to veer very heavily towards rulings, not rules, because I think rulings allow more creativity and it kind of leaves things open. Rather than defining a block and tackle allowing you to hoist up to 4 times the weight you could normally lift, you could use a block and tackle as a grappling hook. And yeah, I much prefer the freedom of rulings to allow both players and DMs to be more creative and have more opportunities, really. But I guess having rules is useful because if you didn't have that rule, I mean, most people probably wouldn't know what you could do with a block and tackle. If without an explicit rule, maybe it's just not as useful. I don't know. What do you think?